Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Gurmantra Shiksha Ka Granth. I am your educator Nidhi Dua and I warmly welcomes you at this platform. So guys, in previous lectures we have started our section 4 that is based on equilibrium, and in today's lecture we are going to study about equilibrium, in which we are going to discuss different cases of homogeneous reactions as well as we are going to study about the colligative properties. So let's begin our today's topic, but first of all let's see what syllabus that we have covered till now. So as you can see here on your screens, we have completed structure of atom, periodicity, chemical bonding, S block, P block, coordination compound, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, organic chemistry as well as the chemistry of biomolecules. And in today's lecture we are going to discuss about homogeneous equilibria or homogeneous equilibria. So in previous lecture we have discussed about the different cases of delta N. What was delta N? Delta N is the number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant. And according to delta N, we have three different cases of delta N on the basis of value of delta N. The three different cases were when the delta N value is 0, second case when the value of delta N is positive, and third case when the delta N value is negative. So one by one we are going to discuss about these cases. Number one case is homogeneous gaseous reaction of type 1 when the value of delta N is equals to 0. To understand this concept, we have a reaction that is H2 plus I2 leads to the formation of 2HI. Why we have taken only this reaction? Because we have to take that reaction in which the value of delta N will be 0. As you can see here, number of moles of product are 2 and number of moles of reactant are also 2. One for H2 and one for I2. When you subtract number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant, that will be equals to 0, which means delta N value is 0. So let's consider a reaction when it is going to start. Then the number of moles of H2 will be A, number of moles of I2 will be B, and number of moles of product will be 0. After reaching to the equilibrium condition, the number of moles of H2 will be A minus X. Why? Because the concentration of the reactant will be decreased. Only then the concentration of product will starts to increase, which means I2, the moles of equilibrium of I2 will be B minus X and number of moles of product will be equals to 2X. Let us start with A moles of H2 and B moles of I2 in a closed bulb of V volume, or you can say in a closed volume of V volume. Then H2 will be equals to A minus X upon V, number of moles upon volume. I2 will be B minus X upon V, and HI, the product, will be equals to 2X upon V. After applying the law of mass action, you can calculate the value of Kc and Kp, which means by the homogeneous reactions, or you can say by the different cases of delta N, you can calculate the value of Kp and Kc. After applying law of mass action, you will see that Kc will be equals to 4x square upon A minus X into B minus X. And if X value is less than 1, then 1 minus X will be equals to 1. So Kc will be equals to 4x square, or you can say X is equals to under root of Kc by 4. That is X is directly proportional to V to the power 0. So you may conclude that at equilibrium, the degree of dissociation is independent to the volume. The equilibrium constant Kp can also be calculating considering partial pressure of the reactant and product at equilibrium, which means you can also calculate the value of Kp. For calculating the value of Kp, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to calculate the total number of moles present at equilibrium. So after calculating the total number of moles at equilibrium, you will get A minus X plus B minus X plus 2X is equals to A plus B, which means A plus B is your total number of moles at that particular reaction, or you can say in that particular reaction total number of moles at equilibrium condition will be equals to A plus B. If total pressure of the system at equilibrium is P, then the partial pressure of reactant H2 will be equals to number of moles at equilibrium divided by total number of moles into partial pressure of H2, which means it is equals to A minus X upon A plus B into P. Similarly, in case of partial pressure of I2, this will be equals to B minus X upon A plus B into partial pressure of I2. And similarly, in case of the partial pressure of product, that is your HI, which means it is equals to 2x upon total number of moles, which is A plus B into P. So, you know it very well. To calculate the value of Kp, what you need? To calculate the value of Kp, you need the value of all the equations. So, active masses of PHI square divided by active masses of reactant PH2 into PI2, which means it will be equals to, it will looks like this. And after solving this equation, you will get the value of Kp as 4x square divided by A minus X into B minus X. Thus, Kp will be equals to Kc. If x is less than 1, then 1 minus x will be equals to 1. That is, x is directly proportional to p to the power 0. Okay. Next we have second case, that is homogeneous reaction of type 2. Type 2 is your when delta N value is positive, which means the number of moles of products should be more than the number of moles of reactant. For example, we have the PCl5, the dissociation of PCl5. PCl5 dissociates into PCl3 plus Cl2. And as you can see here, we have the product mole as 2 and reactant mole we have 1. So after subtracting the product moles and reactant moles, you will get the value of delta N as 1, and which is positive. So let's take initial moles of PCl5 as A and the initial moles of the product PCl3 and Cl2 is 0. And moles at equilibrium condition, the reactant moles at equilibrium condition will be equals to A minus X, since reactant is, concentration of reactant is decreasing and concentration of product will be increases. So PCl3 moles will be X and Cl2 moles will be also X. Okay. Now, if you divide the moles by volume, you will get the value of PCl5, PCl3 and Cl2 like this, and by applying the law of mass action, you can calculate the value of Kc. And after solving the equation, you will get the value of Kc as x square divided by A minus x into V. And if the value of A is 1, then x becomes the degree of dissociation, which means Kc will be equals to x square divided by 1 minus x. And if value of x is less than 1, then 1 minus x will be equals to the 1, which means Kc is equals to x square by V. Now, expression for Kp. For calculating the value of Kp, what you need? You need the value of total number of moles at equilibrium. After calculating the total number of moles at equilibrium, you will get the value as A plus X. And you know it very well, for reactant and product, the value of partial pressure will be look like this, A minus X upon A plus X into P. In case of PCl3 and Cl2, the value of partial pressure will be like this. Now, after applying the mass action, law of mass action, you will get the equation as x square P divided by A plus X into A minus X. And if the value of A is equals to 1, which means x becomes the degree of dissociation. Okay. And if x is less than 1, then 1 minus x square will be nearly equals to 1. And Kp will nearly equals to x square P, which means x square is inversely proportional to 1 by P. Next we have the third case and last case, that is homogeneous reaction type third, which means the value of delta N is negative. For example, we have the synthesis of ammonia. In that particular case, you can see here the number of moles of product are less than the number of moles of reactant. After subtracting the number of moles of product and reactant, you will get the value of delta N as negative, that is -2. So, at initial condition, moles are A, B and 0. Moles at equilibrium will be A minus X, B minus 3X and 2X. Now, you can calculate the value of Kc as we have done in the two another cases when the value of delta N was 0 and the value of delta N was positive. Okay. So, you can calculate from this. After calculating all the values, you will get the value of Kc as 4x square v square divided by 27. Okay. Now, expression, if you talk about expression for Kp, you can also calculate the value of Kp like we have done in the two previous cases. Okay. So, by calculating value of Kp, you will get the answer as 64x square divided by 27p square, which means x is directly proportional to p. So guys, what you have to remember here, you have to learn these steps that we have followed to calculate the value of Kc and Kp. Because in questioner may be asked you to calculate the value of Kc and Kp. Now we have our another topic, that is colligative properties. So if we talk about colligative properties, those physical properties of a solution that depends upon the number of particles of a given volume of the solution. Okay, so this is about colligative properties. Colligative properties depends upon the number of factors like number of particles, number of molecules, number of ions, number of moles of solute and mole fraction of the solute. Okay, and in solutions we have different kinds of colligative properties. For example, number 1 is osmotic pressure, number 2 is relative lowering in vapor pressure, third is elevation in boiling point of solvent, and fourth is depression in freezing point of the solvent. So one by one we are going to discuss about these properties, but in today's lecture we are going to only discuss about the number 1 property, that is about osmotic pressure. So first of all, to study about the osmotic pressure, let us understand about the osmosis, the process of osmosis. So the process of osmosis is defined as the spontaneous flow of any solvent molecule through semi-permeable membrane. So number 1 point which is very important is osmosis is a process that requires the semi-permeable membrane. And in this process there is an spontaneous flow of the solvent molecules from a dilute solution to the concentrated solution. Okay, so this is about the process of osmosis. Now if we talk about the osmotic pressure, first of all you have to learn this. This is represented by a symbol, that is your pi. And osmotic pressure can be defined as the hydrostatic pressure developed as a result of the process of osmosis. Okay. Now, you can conclude this: osmotic pressure is always equals to the hydrostatic pressure. And osmotic pressure is represented by pi, that is equals to HdG. Now, what is H, D and G? H is the height of the solution in the particular test tube. So, H is the increase in level in the tube of the unit cross section. D is the density of the solution and G is the acceleration due to gravity. So, for calculating the osmotic pressure, this is the really very important formula. Okay, that is pi is equals to HdG. Now, what are isotonic or isoosmotic solutions? So, isotonic or isoosmotic solutions are those solutions which have the same osmotic pressure, that are isotonic or isoosmotic solutions are those solutions which have the same osmotic pressures. For example, if we have a solution named S1 and another solution named S2, so S1 solution and S2 solution, if having the same osmotic pressure, then they will be considered as the isotonic or isoosmotic solution. And another important point is, in case of isotonic or isoosmotic solutions, concentration is also equal, which means pi 1 is equals to pi 2, the osmotic pressure is equal, and C1 and C2, concentration C1 and C2 of the solution S1 and S2 are equal. So this was all about today's lecture, guys. Now in case if you are new here at our YouTube channel, you can share, like and subscribe. You can also join our Telegram channel for more new updates related to your exam. And you can also contact us on tanejanehaofficial@gmail.com, or you can also contact us on the given number, that is 9351280000. Now a very important announcement, if you are preparing for CSIR UGC NET, you can follow Neha Taneja ma'am on Unacademy platform. On Unacademy platform, you will get daily live classes, structural courses, live test and quizzes, and with one subscription, you will get unlimited access. If you are interested, you can go through with this detailed paid classes. If you are taking these detailed paid classes, you can use referral code NEHA, that is NEHA, and after using this referral code, you will get 10% discount on total fee. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you all are cleared about the today's lecture.